Hey everybody, Andrew Morgan here with my good friends Chris Loehr, Wes Spencer. How you guys?
Fantastic.
Good. Hey, so we're here talking about Cisco's Elevate, where you're going to be doing a tabletop around an RMM breach. Chris, this is something that you and Wes have done for many years, and unfortunately, we're doing them more virtual these days. So I'm going to come to you shortly and ask about the importance, even though it's still virtual, why MSP should show up. Real quick, what I want to do though is give a big shout out to actually Mark Inderhees of Cisco. 5 years ago, Mark took some bullets saying, "Hey, Cisco is back in the SMB MSP space." And, people were like, "Oh, sure, you're Cisco." 5 years later, here we are. Mark's still heading up that strategy, the investments in the channel. So I'm really proud of what he's done and the commitment that he's made. So, Chris, coming back to you, why should an MSP show up to this? What are they going to get out of it, even if they've been through it before with you guys?
Right. Well, I think we're well due for a refresher, right? So Wes and I have been doing this for quite some time, and we've done some smaller ones throughout this great time of COVID. But I think this Cisco Elevate is on a much more massive scale. And so Wes and I we're gonna bring it to you. We're gonna put together a great new scenario that still revolves around stuff that's relevant to the MSP. Obviously, we're going to add in some of that stuff that's, the emotional side of things, the people side of things, those things that make these tabletop exercises more realistic. And again, we're going to bring that, and we're going to do a fantastic job for all those MSPs that show up and are going to be a part of this.
Wes, Chris mentioned something I think that's really important, the emotional side of things. He talks a lot about roles and responsibilities in not only having an incident response plan, but who executes and who's your backups. Because not only sometimes shouldn't the owner necessarily be your quarterback, they're not necessarily even the right person, not in all cases. But love your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I'll share one of my favorite quotes from George Washington. He said, "The best way to avoid a war is to be prepared for it." And I think there's a lot of truth. And we need to really go through this journey as MSPs, being prepared for what's when the eventuality happens. What do we do? How do we handle it? And a tabletop test is a great way for you and your organization, your MSP, to walk through that scenario and find gaps and holes and deficiencies. And I don't know how we're going to handle that. And one of those is the emotional part. Now, we can't replicate the emotional stress that comes from your own company being ransomed and all of your clients, what we call a buffalo jump. But what we can do is we can work through, this is what would happen. And we'll say, this person has been emotionally affected, right? And he or she is not qualified to look how they're going erratic or whatever. And we're going to build some of those things into the tabletop. And I think that the goal here is just like the military, right? They train troops over and over and over and over through boot camp, so that when they go into real action, they're trained. The muscle memory kicks in. And that's really what a tabletop is all about, is we want to give you that muscle memory so that you'll understand, how can we go through all this? And one thing Chris didn't really mention, but I'm going to say for him, he handles more like MSP breaches than anybody I know. So you talk about somebody that's qualified to really share and understand, guys, this is reality. That's what we're going to do in this tabletop. So you definitely don't want to miss it.
Great. Really good perspective, Wes. And we're looking forward to your session. It's one of my favorite things to watch all the time. So Chris, Wes, thanks for doing this. And we'll see you all at Cisco Elevate next week. We'll put the link in the description of this LinkedIn post on how to register. See you guys soon.
Thank you so much.